It's probably not Monday when you're watching this, but it's been a really good Monday for me. I feel like something shifted again. Um, so today, I believe it started today, Mars is it's still retrograding, but now it's in Cancer, which like is a big, very dramatic change from Leo energy. So, um, yeah, I just pulled some cards to kind of like check in and see what's going on. And I had a lot to say, but I had a good day. I'll tell you about my day first of all. I worked, and then actually things were irritating me in the same way they used to, but I just didn't let it bother me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the same old things were happening, but I was just like, okay, let me have a good attitude. And so I was training my new writers, and I did a really good workout, and I wrote an article, and I did like Pilates and arms, and like I don't know, it was good. It was good. I just said good twice. I meant to say it was fun. Um, and then I went and I got some weed. And oh my God, the whoever rolled that pre-roll was rude. It was very hard to smoke and it didn't really do much for me. But that's my meditative state. And then I went and I got something to cook for dinner and I came home and I cooked dinner and watched some Mind Freak. And now I'm here talking to you. And oh, and I got invited. I don't want to like, so we'll see if this happens. If it happens, it'll be awesome. But I got it. So I was, when I was training one of my writers this morning, she emailed me, or she didn't email me. Sorry, you guys. My head is all over the place. She was telling me that she got an email that, like inviting her on like a trip to a ski resort or something in Denver. And I was like, oh my God, I want to go on a trip. And lo and behold, 8 minutes after we got off a call, I get an email inviting me on like an all expenses paid trip to Jamaica for like a music festival. And it's in like a few weeks, but I'm like, yeah. Because like this time last year, I got invited to go to like the Grand Prix in like Saudi Arabia, like all expenses paid, but it was like really last minute or whatever. And like the PR company putting it together was in Europe. So like it didn't happen, whatever. But I was like, okay, it just wasn't meant to be. But then like, I don't know, I just feel like even if this isn't meant to be, I just like, it shows that I'm in good receptive energy. So I'm looking for more opportunities for good things to come to me. Um, Okay, so I have, I think, 12 cards again. So I'm just gonna like yap based on what my notes say. But the Two of Cups was the first one to come out, of course, because love is in the air, because Venus is in Pisces, and now Mars is in Cancer. So, I mean, we're in like Capricorn and Aquarius season. So, Capricorn, that's just like aloofness and like, I don't know, very father energy, like awkward dad, you know? So, like, we need some like love in the air. So, for the Two of Cups, um, I wrote like making room for new experiences, which is kind of just like what I was talking about, right? Like how like I'm trying to be really receptive and like let things just flow to me. Um, so you can kind of ask yourself like how can you make more room for things that bring you joy? Because if you find like a lot of things in your life are stressing you out or making you miserable, then if you can't eliminate those things, just ask how you can spend your spare time doing things that bring you joy. So then you're more balanced and not just like trying to survive. And you can also ask yourself why you might resist feeling good, because this is a thing that many people do, many men. Well, they give in to like instant gratification pleasure, but it's like they don't think they're worthy of like true happiness. Anyways, you see my throat chakra. Everyone's throat chakra fucked up. Okay, Seven of Pentacles, Little Miss Sunny Patch, Spiders Kids, whatever that show is called. I think it's probably a Canadian niche, but whatever. Um, so this is like preparation or assessment. And it's like reflection of past experiences before like you're embarking on a new path. So you can kind of use this time, like if you're feeling sort of like okay, like why is more not happening for me right now? Just ask yourself, like, okay, like how has my past prepared me for these circumstances? And actually, I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to do a story time because I was going to do a video called My Life as a Movie, Uncut Gems, but I feel like I can just sum this up in like a minute or two here. But in the movie Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler plays a man named Howard, I think, and Howard owns like a jewelry shop and he's the king of pentacles. He's all about his coin, whatever. And so he gets this like really rare gem and he's like flaunting it to Kevin Garnett, I think his name is. And Kevin Garnett sees this gem. He's like, I want to buy it. How much is it? Like, this is really fucking cool. And then Howard's like, oh, it's not for sale. And then Kevin is like, why the fuck did you show it to me if I can't have it? And then he goes on an ego rampage to make sure he gets the gem. And then Howard dies in the end because of his greed. But spoiler alert. But I mean, if you haven't seen that movie by now, like I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so why I'm telling you this is because sometimes like I can get very in that like angry child, like I guess ego type space of where I'm like, why did you show this to me if I can't have it now? Because this has happened to me time and time again. But I have realized that whenever like I can be kind of maybe like off my path, okay? And then the universe will send a form of divine intervention and will literally like in not so many words say to me like if you get back on path, if you can realign yourself, everything you want is yours. And then so obviously me being me, I'm like, okay, I want that. Like I want the 10 of Pentacles. And so I'll like drop everything and align myself. But then I can't have that thing right now because they're not ready. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So, like, why did you show this to me if I can't have it? But it all goes back to the idea of love. And it's like, you can't attach the idea of love to a specific person. It's like, you just have to know that, like, you are worthy of love, even if it doesn't come from a specific person, from a specific source. Like, it's just like, you have to know what you want. So even if you don't want to get married and have kids and do that whole shebang, whatever, it's just like know what you want and don't settle for anything less than that. And that's like the only way to do it, really. Um, okay, the tower. But after the tower comes a star, is what I always have to remind people. I always have to remind myself that too. Um, so you can ask yourself, like, how do you stay sane during tower moments? Like, and if you don't have healthy coping mechanisms, now's the time to develop some. Um, and you can ask yourself, you don't want to kill your ego. You want to befriend your ego, okay? Because if you kill your ego, it's just going to resurrect itself. And then when it rises up, you won't know how to react. But if you befriend it, then you can just kind of laugh at it and be like, oh my God, that's my old friend Jim. And he is screaming, get off my lawn again, and just throwing a hissy fit. And you're like, in your soul, you're like, I don't resonate with that. So let's just like analyze his behaviors, but not give in to the reaction he wants us to give so that he can be satisfied. You know, it's like you have to kill Jim, but not actually kill him. Like just like be his friend. Like try to understand him, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, and so you want to allow anything that's unaligned to fall away. And I think these things will be very clearly revealed to you. And I mean, like, if you want to resist that because your soul needs more karma, that's on you. But the universe will show you what is not for you every time. Um, oh, and then I wrote there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in, just to be poetic. I think Leonard Cohen said that originally, but maybe he stole it from someone else. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, which is like greed. Look at this girl. She's got a big old room full of all kinds of houses and doors, but she's the only one in there. She's all by herself. Um, so this can kind of be how it's like the concept of like you build up all your material things and you think that you're so safe and you're so protected, and then you realize you're actually alone and you're missing true love. Um, so ask yourself, where is stubbornness keeping you stuck? And know that material objects really only provide an illusion of control, but the real control is like being in control of your emotions and being able to deal with those when those surface. Um, and just know that resistance to change equals stagnation. Something about inertia. That's a word that I picked up on lately. So it's just kind of like if you can know you want to change, but until you shift your vibration, you're gonna keep repeating, 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 repeating. But until you consciously shift your vibration, you will not be able to break out of that period of inertia. And anyone else who has done that will be a threat to you, and you will be in your ego and you will want to isolate and distance yourself from them because you feel safer in your comfort zone, but only so much of your life can be lived in your comfort zone. Um, so yeah, okay, the Five of Swords, the men fighting war. Um, so this is kind of like restlessness, upheaval, ambition. So like I was saying, like you can see other people as your competition. Like if you're in a period of inertia, instead of just like, being like, oh my God, that person's doing better than me. I don't like how I feel when I'm around them. I need to isolate. I'm guilty of like I used to do that when I didn't like who I was. Um, like the healthy way to handle that is be like, okay, why do I feel the need to compare myself to this person? Why am I not satisfied with what's going on in my life? What can I do about that? How could like if you like how this person is living their life, ask them how they got to be where they are. Have they ever been in a period where they haven't felt so confident? How did they turn that around? you know, but it's just like you need to take more accountability than like playing the victim. Victim card declined, period. Um, so yeah, just I wrote any competition that isn't you versus you is a waste of time and very ego driven. And ask yourself, are you choosing what makes you happy or what you've been told to choose? Because if you've been told to choose like that you're the victim, then you're going to keep repeating that cycle. But like if you choose what makes you happy and that you're worthy of that, then you can break free of this. And then like all that matters is like what's in front of you because you have what makes you happy. The King of Swords. Um, so this is like harmony and objectivity. So this is like the solution to the Five of Swords. Um, I wrote down not my monkeys, not my circus. So it's like you have to know when like you can care about people so much, but sometimes like the conflicts they bring to you or the drama they bring to you, like it's not for you. So it's like you can love and support someone through that without having, well, you have to figure out how to love and support someone through their shit without taking it on for yourself. Um, and so how do you know when a decision is in your best interest? You know, like how do you know when you're doing it for you as opposed to like doing it to make someone else happy? Um, and how can you help others without getting caught up in their drama? Because you got to choose you, Lucius. I'm just saying. The Two of Swords, there's lots of truths coming out. Her. So this is like decision making organization. So how can you take accountability and like face blocks like or yeah, face blocks and break down barriers that have held you back. Sorry, I doubted my own writing there. Um, yeah, so then it's like instead of like blaming the other, like in the Five of Swords, look, these people, then it's like this person is blindfolded and all they can do is like think about, okay, I don't know what's around me. All I can do is go inward. So it's like maybe you have to take a period of isolation away from everyone else to really figure out. I got a crumb on the corner of my lip. uh, to figure out what's best for you and figure out like what even is your path. Um, and so now is a time to access feelings and trust intuition rather than like repress and deny and distract yourself with like external things. Because sometimes you can just be telling yourself like, oh, like I can't have everything I want because like, oh, what is it? I think there's a Rumi quote and he's like, I have to count my fingers and my toes and like do all this stupid bullshit. And it's like, why can't you just do what you want? Like, why can't you just choose joy? You can make like a million excuses as to why you can't be happy, but that doesn't work in a new earth. Or if it does, like you'll be separated from people who are of a higher vibration. Um, Nine of Swords. So this is kind of like if you look on this card, these little girls are hiding from this big giant bunny. It's kind of funny to me. So it's like guilt, worry, victimization. So it's like you can naturally make yourself inferior, right? Because maybe this bunny is just like, oh my God, I just want to play. But like these little girls, they're just like they're being really scared and like hiding themselves and like whatever. And they're just like, I mean, good for them for keeping themselves safe because they're young girls, but like they're playing the victim a little bit. Um, so it's like you have to face your feelings with an open mind and heart. And sometimes you have to face other people's feelings with an open mind and heart too, and that can help you understand um, your feelings more. So you can ask yourself, how do you hide from your feelings? Like, what are your coping mechanisms? Like, I mean, when I want to feel less, usually, or sometimes when I want to feel more too, I'll like smoke weed or like I like to listen to sad music or like stuff like that, you know? But um, yeah, some people repress it with like what's the word? Like validating their ego or whatever, like going out and seeking attention from a bunch of people and then just like not, because all sins are attempts to fill voids, is all I'm gonna say. Um, uh, and who do you feel safe to talk to about your thoughts and feelings? Like, if you, even if you don't have anyone you can talk to, like, can you talk to yourself? Can you journal? Do you feel comfortable doing that? Because that's a good place to start. That's all I have sometimes. Um, the lovers. So this is what happens when you face your feelings. You're able to love. You have your heart chakra open. Um, and so ask yourself, what's your idea of true love? Maybe like I had a therapist a few years ago and I told her like, hey, like growing up, like no one showed me really like what true like romantic love is. Like I didn't have an example of that. And she told me just like watch shows, watch movies, like look for examples of it, ask to be shown it. And I did, and I was. And now I believe in love again. And also I believe in love because I exist and I'm full of it. I don't know who said that originally, but it's very true. Um, so yeah, and like consider how can you improve communication in your relationships? Like how can you have more of an open heart chakra? Um, which relationships are most important to you? That can be a good thing to ask because then, oh, like the people that are more important to you, you want to prioritize connecting with them. So, because then you can mutually benefit off of each other's energy and collaborate and build a new earth. Wow. Um, and you can also ask yourself, do you love and respect yourself enough to not get lost in another? Because if you don't, the universe won't let you. It's like the same concept as like if someone wins the lottery. Um, but a lot of the times those people get really depressed or they squander all the money away or whatever because they weren't in like the energy to like receive it. Like they weren't in abundance energy. So it didn't stick with them. But if you can attract that wealth and then it's like you have to balance your masculine and feminine, you know? Like the universe is very, 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 very kind to people who balance energy. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, we have the Three of Wands, which is like our first out of the readings I've done so far this year. This is our first repeat card, and this card is very important to me in general. So it's just kind of like momentum and creativity and planning. So just like holding that vision for like again, once you figure out, okay, like what is love to you, then you go after it. Um, and oh, there's a quote from it's a 21 Savage song. It's on Savage Mode too. And it's actually like Morgan Freeman narrating the album. I say this all the time. I tell so many people this quote, but it's like if your vision is crystal clear, it's razor sharp. And that's because if you have that knowing, if you have seen it for yourself, then it's like that cuts through. Like that is the ultimate truth because swords are like sharp, right? It's truth. Anyways, if either you get it or you don't. Um, and so ask yourself, how can you invite more love into your life? Even if you're in a period of waiting or like, you're kind of like waiting for things to come together. That doesn't mean you're not worthy of love right now, that you can't have nice things right now. It's just maybe you're like cutting yourself off and men tend to do this. I don't know why. Okay. Mr. Chris Angel. The Magician might be my new favorite tarot card because to me it used to be more of like it was in the universe's hand. Like if the magician showed up, like, oh, expect a miracle. But no. Okay, the magician is very much like everything. If you've ever watched Mind Freak, he all he talks about is like having your body, mind, and soul work together holistically, and like how magic is like, it's just something that makes people feel like it's an experience. Like he's so smart. Um, and so you have to know that it's like anything is possible if you can see it for yourself and if you take inspired action and you keep yourself in the vibration of that thing. But like if you want to have your cake and eat it too and like be over here with like a low shitty vibration and like think that you're gonna attract all the abundance and be able to hold on to it, like it's not gonna work that way. So you have to be the magician a little bit. It's like if you can take accountability for that much and just like owning your vibration and being your best self, then that's when anything is possible. But if you're just sitting around scratching your butt, not so much. Oh, there was a quote I was gonna read to you from my tarot Bible. It was a very, very good one. Okay. So it says, a magus cannot be ignorant, for magic implies superiority, mastership, majority, and majority signifies emancipation by knowledge. The magus welcomes pleasure, accepts wealth, deserves honor, but is never the slave of one of them. He knows how to be poor, to abstain, and to suffer, but endures oblivion willingly because he is a lord of his own happiness and expects or fears nothing from the caprice of fortune. He regrets nothing which must end, but remembers with satisfaction that he is met with good in all. So it's just like just knowing that you like anything can change at any moment, and that is the beauty of life. Like you just have to be open and receptive to it and like work with the tools you have. That's kind of like that's what magicians do. And then the last card we have is the Knight of Wands. So this is kind of what I was talking about of like giving into instant gratification instead of like knowing that you are worthy of like the long-term vision you can see for yourself if you can just commit to that. But if you can't commit to it and you're just going to squander all your energy away seeking out instant gratification and like trying not to feel your feelings and like distracting yourself, whatever, then like you're just going to be chasing like fleeting happiness forever and ever and ever. But like again, if you know what is for you and you align to it, like what's for you can't miss you. God will keep shoving it in your face, but if you want to be an idiot and fuck it up, like anyone can do that. So you can ask yourself, how can you practice more patience? And how does instant gratification make you feel in the long term? So that could be like, if you go out for like a night of drinking with your friends, like how do you feel afterwards? Like, would you have rather spent that money on other things? Like, does drinking make you do things that you regret. And like this can apply to anything. You know what I mean? Just like take it and like put it into your personal situation. But I think that a lot of people are going to be feeling a lot of things, and I think that's really beautiful. So, um, I wish you all good luck on your journey, and I'm here if you need me. Love ya.